Hey, Football Sunday. Woo! Football Sunday. Welcome, boys, to
Boom.
first of the season. Shall we say first of the season? Shall we call it NFL Sunday Roast, Sunday Blunch, Sunday Brunch? What are we calling it this week, by the way, boys?
Sunday roast buffet brunch.
There you go. Rolls off the tongue.
This is the official first NFL Sunday. Obviously, because we didn't cover them, the others don't count. So here we are. Football is back.
Football is only back now this week.
Exactly. Yes. Correct.
You know what I say, Matty? Football doesn't start till November, so I've still got a couple of months.
Crikey, you're taking it easy just for now, then, yeah.
just easing into it. Easing into it. That's what it is.
Doesn't start till November. Good. I'm good. I'm looking forward to this week of games. I feel like there could be some cracking games coming up, along with some teams that might be a shock 0-3.
Yeah, it's a bit of surprising, and the week of the underdogs and the week of the upsets last week has kind of put a few cats amongst the pigeons. I think it's safe to say there's a few teams there where they're looking at, Matty and I, we had a discussion on Thursday, looking at maybe their season being over after 3 weeks. So I want to say maybe that's a stretch on some occasions, maybe not for Carolina, but maybe for some other teams.
Crikey, get the dig in there early.
Straight in. I'm firing now. I've got coffee. I'm all good. We're firing in. We're not messing around. So news of the week then, Alec, because I know Matty and I kind of covered it and you were away, but obviously the Bryce Young was a massive one. We've had a load of IRs, a load of people disappearing off of our screens. How are you feeling with we talked about it, early season soft tissue injuries inevitably happen, but there seems to be a few of them.
I have to say, I did like your Bryce Young chat. I thought that was really sensible. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. Would he be different in a different game, in a different team? Sorry. Would he be different? The car crash of a franchise as it is. So that's an interesting one. I like the trade to Miami. I actually spoke to a Miami fan and they were like, actually, yeah, I'd take that.
Yeah.
We could do something with him. Arrow line is specifically better than what he's dealing with there.
Yeah.
I like that. I was shocked with the Jets results. I didn't the Jets game, that shocked me a little bit. I didn't expect that to be as a walkover as it was.
Especially not considering the Patriots, pushed the Seahawks pretty hard to then just be non-existent against the Jets. I mean, short week turnaround, and we talked about that many times, but that seemed a bit, very one-sided. And Matty was obviously super happy about that from his predictions point of view.
I think that's what's the most.
I think you hedged your bets more than enough to kind of say that
that's probably the most surprising thing about this result is I think obviously I predicted the Patriots to win, and I have quite literally never produced a bad NFL prediction in my life. So the fact that one did not come in, I must say that was a very surprising thing to wake up to on Friday. Baffled, but we all make mistakes sometimes. I'm back to it this week, and I'm going to go 15-1 in my predictions, I believe.
Your text. Speaking about making mistakes, I can only apologise, Matty. I did discount Buffalo. I did put the Bills on the back burner. I will eat my humble pie on that one.
You watch them lose this week, but yeah, no, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good at the moment. To be fair, I think I said that just because I've probably got a bit of a man crush on Josh Allen. I did not expect it to be going quite this well. I won't lie, because obviously we all know that the massive roster moves that were made this offseason because of obviously the Allen contract and all of the financial stuff that goes on with the NFL. So I will say I'm surprised. I predicted it, and then I remember when we actually talked about it, and I was like, I don't know how I'm feeling about this anymore, but I've stuck with it. One of my predictions has come off. Obviously, that's a normal thing for anyone that's just watching. That's
absolutely. Matty's predictions always come out. Always,
never go wrong.
Always, definitely, they never go wrong, and they never tail off very quickly in the season.
No.
Never one for early celebrations in week 2.
Yes. See, now I'm going back on the side of this. Still has time to go wrong, but no, I'm going with it. We're going well. Going
I don't know.
2 weeks.
Jags this week. I can see them beating the Jags.
See, if the Jags go 0-3, we're going to have to bring the crisis-ometer out. Dun, dun, dun. That's a
Dun,
little...
dun, dun. Teaser,
There's
teaser.
a drop.
Bring
Drop
that, yeah.
Thursday.
We've got a little segment cooking, but we'll get onto that later. But yeah, I feel like going back to the whole other kind of big topic we were talking about, injuries. Like, I know, again, a topic fairly close to our heart with the Niners playing the Rams. That's coming up this week. That feels like, with all of just the offense that both of those teams have out, that could literally be a team that would make a run at most people. Injuries, especially with big ones like Tua, like there's a lot of them floating around this year.
If only they had a preseason to warm up for the contact they're about to receive in week 1 and week 2.
It's almost like you're on the same wavelength. You're on the same wavelength.
If only there was some level of preparation by these, these poor, massive, multi-million-pound organizations. They have no time to do any preparation. They don't know what they're getting themselves in for. They've never done this before. It's a tough time. All right, you be nice, please, Alec. All right, those big bad organizations are going to get their feelings hurt.
Yeah, because they'll really feel it in the pocket, right?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
The one for me is like, you go and buy a car and the guy will go, after it's MOT or service, just drive it gently for the first couple of 1,000 miles, bed it in, bed the brakes in.
Don't do too much.
We seem to think these guys can just, drive at 120 miles an hour from week 1. It's like, that's not how it works.
And we're seeing that. Absolutely. It's a bit of a mayhem one.
Do we need to do stretches before we play today? Nah, you'll be all right. Just crack on.
It's fine. Just throw pads on and crash into everybody. It'll be fine. What's the worst that can happen?
What do you mean he's pulled a hamstring? What?
How did that happen?
The one question I did want to, jumping back to Thursday night football, I wanted to ask Gary, does Aaron Rodgers qualify for Comeback Player of the Year?
Yeah, I suppose he has to be in the mix. At least you can go to Sam
I'm
Darnold.
still pulling Sam Darnold.
I'm really coming
the same amount of games last season.
Sam Darnold thing. No, I'm not going to lie. I'm getting
on. Aaron Rodgers, yes, from an Achilles tendon injury, would be in the mix for Comeback Player of the Year, I would suggest.
But coming back from playing rubbish is a lot harder than coming back from an Achilles injury.
Is it, though?
It is when you're Sam Darnold.
Is it, though? Is it when you've been a first-round draft pick and you've been supposedly the face of franchises and stuff like that? Is it worse? Is it hard to come back from that? Or is it that maybe you were overdrafted and oversold, and the fact is that you can't even win the third QB position at an NFC contender? You have to go and luck into a starting position after a first-round pick goes down injured versus perennial MVP busting a very, very crucial ligament in a leg, which puts you out, and then coming back and playing to similar level. What's more of a comeback? I know which one I'm leaning towards. I think everybody else is probably understanding which one I'm leaning towards as well.
Sam Darnold.
Obviously, isn't it?
I think I can already tell the theme for next week's Grinds Gary's Gears.
Really? Is it?
My co-hosts are very annoying. Yeah, I feel like that's coming.
What really gets me is when my co-hosts throw me under the bus with some really shady.
I'm not a big Sam Darnold guy, but these two dudes that I have to talk to every week,
banging on every time about him. And fair play to him. He did. He had a point to prove, and he played very well on Monday. And Sunday, you can't knock him for what he did. He was very efficient, but that's as good as you get out of him. You don't get that every game, and that's the problem. He will now go off and absolutely whiff today. Ooh. It just so happens he did it against the Niners. There you go. There's my bold prediction. On what we are 10 minutes in, I've already made a massive bold prediction.
Let's get into week 3 with Gary's Game of the Week.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. We love it. We love it. Keep them coming, Alec. Keep them coming. Game of the week this week. Oh, there's some tasty ones. There's some tasty ones. There's the slightly less interesting, but kind of from our point of view, the NFC West one, where the Rams could end up being 0-3, and their season being and as we just talked about on a previous show on this channel, the NFC West show. Nice subtle plug there, where we just talked about with JT and Mo.
It's a good show.
And go back and listen. It's a great show, and there's a bit of a twist there. Sam didn't turn up, and so we ripped the Rams to pieces, obviously. But then the question was, if the Rams continue on their current trajectory, how long does Sean McVay stay with a headset on and doesn't move upstairs to the booth? Interesting thought process. That's a tasty one to think about. Not my game of the week by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think that's going to be that great a game. I think it's going to be pretty one-sided. Interesting with the Green Bay Tennessee game. I think that's going to be an interesting one with Malik Willis under center, giving Tennessee a bit more of a chance. Green Bay should probably still be just about favorites, but who knows? Mr. Mayonnaise might pull one out there. Miami, Seattle, you got to be looking at that one. Skylar Thompson, is he actually going to be good enough to start in Miami, or are they going to literally pull any old guy off the street? Okay, Tyler Huntley isn't any old guy, but he's literally just walked in the building. Will he get the starting job with that Miami offense? Don't know. That's an interesting one. Chicago ends Indianapolis. Two very similar QBs. Caleb Williams being is he the new A-Rod in the A-Rich? I think there's going to be some great challenges and great battles there. And Matty and I talked about Anthony Richardson, the massive highlight plays or the absolute rubbish in between. You don't get any middle ground, and maybe Caleb Williams has got a little bit of that about him. My two games of the week come a little later on. There's one that stands out, and you can't ignore it. You can't bypass it. It's the Baltimore Ravens going to visit Dallas Cowboys. Wow. Just blockbuster on all fronts. The Ravens 0-2 going in to Dallas, who have been Dallas, I suppose, 1-1. If the Ravens lose in Dallas, they are 0-3 for a team that was majority favorites to win their division.
Stamped for championship game as well.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's an interest. You've got to be keeping an eye on that one. And I do have a sneaky Kansas at Atlanta. That one strikes again. Another one. Pacheco's out. They've got no running game. Can Atlanta kind of take advantage? Atlanta looked pretty good with their running game last game.
Don't discount the Chiefs, though. Never count the Chiefs out. They'll bite you on the arse. I've been there.
Alec has the bite marks to prove it from discounting the Chiefs too early. But still there, still bitter about that. But yeah, it's a toss-up between those. Those are two, and then, whatever side of the coin lands. But I think probably the Ravens-Dallas game is really the game of the week. You can't look beyond that one. That is going to be blockbuster all over the place. I think it's the Sunday night primetime. Everybody else in the world in the NFL knows that that's the game to be watching, and that's the one that we'll all be tuning into late Sunday night, Monday morning for the UK time.
Now, the Ravens-Cowboys game, is that a little bit... Ravens need the win more, I feel, than the Cowboys. However, if the Eagles had won and the Eagles were 2-0, I feel the Cowboys would have needed that, because that's a tougher division to catch up on. If the Eagles get going and get riding, that's a tougher division. I think the Ravens need it. They need a win. And I think that I can see the Cowboys folding. I can see that this being an absolute slobber knocker to the end, with the Cowboys just falling short.
I've got horror. Still, the Ravens game from last year for the Niners still has a bit of a PTSD for me. I've got a feeling that this could be one of those where the Ravens come in and everything clicks because they need it and they want it. They already know that they're slightly to slip behind. Dallas, as you say, aren't with the Eagles losing and being 1-1 in that division, don't have the knife edge that the Ravens have, whereas the Ravens are on a knife edge. And I can see this being the one where the Ravens just go, right, click together. Andrews, Henry, the offense starts to kind of purr, the defense steps up, and this could be a shellacking for the Cowboys at home, which nobody likes to see. Apart from everybody in red and gold. In fact, everybody else in the NFC.
Yeah, I
I'm
feel
gonna
like a
make-
lot of people quite enjoy it when the Cowboys fail. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it seems to go down better than most people. Question mark.
Yeah.
Just seems like a general feeling.
I did
And
enjoy it
Matty,
last
I'm
week.
leaning with your headgear that you've got a slight team that you might be wishing is favouring this side.
Yeah,
of the,
I think the
side of
Baltimore
coin toss.
Pigeons might get this one done. Yeah, no, I also yeah, I just feel like they do need to get it done, but I also don't feel like for a lot of how they've played, it's not as if they're not doing the right things. Like even if you look at the underlying stats lines, like in terms of like total offense, the Ravens are performing the best of any team in the NFL. It's just kind of unfortunate they haven't been able to get over the hump. Obviously, that first game against the Chiefs, that's always a tough game. They lose that. The slip up against the Raiders is maybe a bit less excusable, and there's stuff to look into that. But you know, what are you going to do against Minshew Mania, baby? There's no, come on now.
When
the
Minshew, starts his magic, you can't do much about
the
it.
Ravens are only human. So let's give them that. But yeah, this feels like a must win, and like against the Saints, I don't know how much faith. Like this feels like a Cowboys team that could get pushed around. Like I think against the Browns, week 1 they were coming up against a team that was in a tough spot. Right, the Browns have a lot going on at the moment. But then last week against the Saints, who have kind of come out of nowhere, unless you're Paul from Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover, they absolutely battered them. And I know I said this like midweek, but obviously at the watch party, I was there to watch the 49ers game, but I could not stop looking at that Cowboys Saints scoreline because I was thinking like, at some point the Cowboys are going to kick in and this is going to change. And I was like, no, it's just getting bigger. Like it's getting worse. So yeah, I think if it all clicks for the Ravens today, they should get it done.
The one thing the Ravens are going to do is feed Derrick Henry. Please.
Honestly,
in the last 2 games, he's touched the ball 13 times in the Chiefs game, and then 18 times in the
Saints.
Bengals.
Raiders
Raiders
game.
game.
Sorry,
is that all?
That's
all.
bizarre. You don't go out and get Derrick Henry and only give him enough to get him not even warmed up. Derrick Henry is the kind of you give him 20, 25,
20 plus
times.
carries.
Easy.
Wow.
Because that's when he starts to wear down the opposition, and that's when he starts to open it up second half and all that. He only gets warmed up after 20. You don't. Wow.
He carried it for 4.7 yards a carry, and they stopped at 18. He had 84 yards, and they stopped at 18.
It's just like, has he got a special sort of distance? Has he got a special contract at any time he gets over 100 yards? They have to pay him like a shed load of money, and therefore it's like, right, it's enough. Pull him. We can't give him. We haven't got the money for it. It's like, wow, that's insane.
But
you don't go out and get that. Yeah,
feed him. Do you know what I mean? Get 6 yards a run, 4 yards a run. Stop Mahomes from coming back on the field. I just feel there's a bit of
naivety,
hardballness in the way. No, I think it's the hardball in the way. I think it's the whole we're winning like this. It's we've seen it with Jim Harbaugh.
We're going to win my way of the highway. Feel
Mahomes. Lamar's got to throw. So your game of the week, Gary.
Gary's game of the week.
Is
the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Dallas Cowboys in Arlington, Texas.
Are you picking it? Let's pick it. I'm taking the Ravens. 34-27. I'm going high score.
I'm taking that's a lot of scores. I'm taking the Ravens 38-21.
Oh, god damn. I'll take the Ravens 24-10. I don't think it's going to be overly high score. I feel like the Cowboys defense is maybe due a bit of an upgrade, but oh yeah, now I've said that. I've said it now. I've thrown it out into the ether.
It's put it out there. That means that basically the
Cowboys are winning. Yeah,
Cowboys winning. Everyone's going.
Cowboys defense is scoring 6 touchdowns.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, them Cowboys. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. But I mean, maybe I don't know. I'm hoping that that's not just me with the anti-Dallas shirt on. But I do think that the Ravens are due a big win, and they need, as you say, they definitely need it. They can't go 0-3.
It's a tough one for the Cowboys as well because they need to win as well. But they do go into the Giants and Steelers, and then the season then goes Lions, 49ers. So you got to think the Cowboys drop one here. You're like, wow, we'll pick one up against the Giants because I don't think the Giants are going to win a game all season.
Oh,
No.
gosh.
I mean, we don't. No, the surprise to me is that the Patriots have got a win in the column already. But
No, I said the Patriots would win the Super Bowl. None of you believe me.
You didn't believe yourself when you said it.
I
have video
will not lie.
You desperately tried to get out of that. So
I will not lie. I still don't. I'm glad they got the dub, but yep.
Yeah, week one craziness happens, right?
Yeah, Bengals always come out of the blocks terrible. Not to be fair, not that I expected the Bengals to lose, but maybe given given previous evidence, possibly should have considered it a bit more.
But
then
the Patriots did push Seattle right to the edge. So maybe as we said, they're a gritty, hard to beat team, although. Maybe not. Well, they just roll over.
Maybe not. I'm still fairly confident they're not winning the Super Bowl, I suppose is my point. I don't think they're going to be the worst team in football, but I just have a sneak suspicion that when it comes to February in New Orleans, it's not going to be the Patriots.
Pretty sure there's not going to be too much silver and blue. Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like if the Niners make it to the Super Bowl and they get beaten by the 2024-25 Patriots, just sack it off. It's not happening. Like it's done.
It's never happening. You're never getting 6 if that happens, right?
You touched on it a little bit there with the Dolphins, Garrett. How many wins do you reckon it would take for the Dolphins to get Tom Brady out of retirement? How many wins do they have to get before Brady goes, I could.
The problem with that is the whole. I mean, I don't think, if they went 0-4 from this point on, the conversation, people would already be like, Tom, come on, you live in here. Come on, you've always wanted to. You look good in this color. You look great in white and all that aqua and all that sort of stuff. It's just too much political stuff about it. The whole tapping up from a few seasons ago. Tom Brady he's still supposed to be trying to be part owner of the Raiders as well. Yeah. How would that work? He'd have to give that up or put that on hold. I can see it just from a romantic point of view that he'd always been a Dolphin. He always wants to play there, and it's Miami. It's his and he's not exactly lighting up the commentary booth either, is he?
No.
But I just think there's just too much history in terms of that. Too much. It's just too much. They're more likely that they'll go out and get, as we talked about, Bryce Young, and I don't think he, as the guy just said on the previous show, Bryce Young needs to go somewhere. Somebody put his arm around him and hide him behind a big O line, and just give him a year to just recover and learn how to play football.
Maybe a big O line, it'd just be an average size to hide.
Just an O line, to be honest, because that's something he's not had in the last season and a half. But yeah, it's a beautiful thought, but I think the boat has sailed on Tom Brady in Miami, unfortunately, because of all the other nonsense that's around.
I agree. Although I do think it's tasty. They get 5 wins and they're sitting at like 5-2 or something like that. It's kind of like,
just on the cusp, just there, and it's like,
could you do something? Yeah, could you do something? However, I'm still surprised. Like I look at it like Ryan Tannehill's not had a call. People like that, and you're thinking, do you know what I mean? There's some good servable quarterbacks out there. Give them a call.
Yeah, give them a call.
Get them in the building.
I'm surprised Dallas haven't received a call from Miami, to be honest.
No, because I think they know what's under that. It's the same with the Jimmy G. You got to remember that's ex-49ers. So? Yeah, they know what's
you
there.
You think Mike McDaniels knows what's there, and even though he's not really been given,
he's not happy.
So you are definitely labeling Mr. Lynch a complete bust then.
Yeah, well, not a bust. I don't think you can say he's a bust because he's not played, but I'm labeling him as that he's not as good as what the 49ers expected him to be. And I think they panicked. I think they thought, going away from week 3, but they thought we need a quarterback. We're going in. There's lots of quarterbacks to choose to. And they went there and are like, There's not a lot of quarterbacks to choose from. We just need to pick one.
We need to pick that one. Yeah. I think they reached, and I think the ceiling and the project was great, but unfortunately, I think the reality was he hasn't played anywhere near enough football at the level that they needed to. And it would just be an interesting one if McDaniel's reached out and just said, "Hey, we'll take your backup because I know him and whatever else, and he can run this system."
I think Jimmy G's in for a shout. I think if it wasn't for the fact that Stafford wasn't as banged up,
he's 2 hits away. Yeah,
I think that the Rams would be calling, going, "Hey, do you want this guy for a fifth?"
Question is, as I mentioned in the previous show, why aren't the Rams shopping Stafford? Injuries that are going around now. Why are the Rams not sort of going, anyone wants Stafford?
Yeah, they're a game away from it.
Season's a game away from just going, right, Christ, if another guy goes down. Imagine if Kyron Williams goes down. Their season's done, right? You just think, right, we've got to shop everybody and get as much as you can. Throw in steps.
He's laughing, sitting on a sofa every Sunday, laughing his head off with his big ring that's sitting on there. Aaron Donald, yeah, he was it. He's like, he knew he got out at the right time. Matty, you know what's coming next, mate?
It's time for Matty's Mayhem matchup.
Yeah. That's not fair. Hang on. Mine goes on and on and goes on, and the Matty's sort of like, shh.
Yeah, but then that means that I have more space to fill, and I'm generally quite terrible at that. So there's ups and downs for both of these. I think there's a good few matchups today that might be quite, I was going to say mayhemous, but I don't think that's the word of it. Quite chaotic. Let's go with that. That's same-ish thing. There's a couple I'm looking at. I won't lie
with that. It doesn't go with them. It doesn't go like. I'm only working with something here.
There could be madness. Mental.
It could be mental. Some mental games. There you go.
No, there's some good ones I'm excited for that might cause some genuine mayhem. I think Saints-Eagles could be a fun one. The Saints offense is absolutely on fire. I think the Eagles need a bit of a statement. So that could be two teams just absolutely out for blood. Could be a proper shootout. I also think Bills-Jags, again, not to get way up on my Bills high horse right now, but I think the Bills are doing something and the Jags are 0-2. They're in need of something, but I don't know how much faith I have in them to reply or how much faith I have for the Bills to just drop a massive score. The one I'm really looking at, and I'm really, really tempted to go with it, and I'm going to do it. I think Cardinals-Lions. The Cardinals dropped an absolute bomb on the Rams last week. Again, one of those other scorelines that I could not take my eye off of. I know the Rams were beaten up, but my God, the Cardinals and specifically Kyler Murray put in a shift and looked incredible. And I feel like that's the kind of quarterback that you look at and you're like, God damn, like what a player. It feels like there's been probably a couple of wasted years due to like injury and other things. But this could be a year. Let the guy cook. I think the Lions as well, you can never write them out. Alf nailed it. You can never do that, whatever that is. And also with like losing to the Bucks the way they did last year, again, I think they're in need of a bit of a bounce back. I can see these two potentially just be a bit of a score fest going up and down and up and down and up and down. I think this has potential to be absolute mayhem.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one of those last team with the ball type feel to it, isn't it? Who has the ball last wins, I think.
Do you know what could let this game down? Dan Campbell's game management.
No.
Oh.
Too many fourth down goes, you think?
Big Dan in a big spot.
Could let this
Big Dan making it about himself.
Do you know what I'm looking forward to in this game? Hutchinson chasing around Kyler Murray.
Oh, that is going to be good.
It's going to be tasty. And as Jason just said on the previous show, the NFC West show, another blatant plug for the
Give it a watch. It's a good show.
Give it a watch. It's a good show.
Give it a watch. It's a good show.
There you go. Give it a watch. Give it a watch. Give it a watch. It's a good show. Anyway.
Good show. Yeah.
Throw me now. The Cardinals are on their third string right tackle, which is where Hutchinson lines up.
Boy.
Oh, look out. Kyler's going to be on his wheels. It could be.
But can he catch him?
No.
Can he catch it?
Can anybody catch Kyler Murray when he's actually in full flight?
So Kyler's going to be cooking. Is Hutchinson going to be ready to eat? That's the question. Clip it. Get on TikTok. I'm done.
Bam.
Finished.
Mic drop. You know.
What? Come on. Man.
Yeah, I like this. I like this game. I really like this game. The other game that I think is going to be chaotic, I'm going to pinch it here, is, and none of you have mentioned it, is Colts Bears.
Oh, wait. I mentioned it in my lineup. I did mention the lineup.
You did, yeah.
It's going to be like Caleb against A-Rich. Big bombs.
Will Caleb get his first NFL touchdown?
Running, passing, or
either
to a defense?
He is the only quarterback to not have a touchdown so far this year. Even Big Bo
Nix. Has he thrown a pick six?
Bo Nix has a rushing. Are we counting a pick six? That feels a bit dirty.
Well, he's thrown a touchdown.
I was in the NFL.
Right? He has scored a touchdown, yes, for the other team.
It's a bit hot.
I think that's going to be a sneaky good game, though. I think that's going to be a sneaky good game. But yeah, Matty.
It's time for Matty's Mayhem matchup.
Tell us what it is.
Yeah, Cardinals Lions. I'm locking it in. I think this is two exciting teams that play very good attacking football. I feel like another sneaky thing that I've kind of forgotten about. I feel like Amon-Ra St. Brown has had a bit of a down year this year. Like after receiving his money, I feel like he's not been nearly as explosive as we're used to seeing. So why not? Why would this not be the game that he's going to come back? I just think this is going to be two teams going absolutely hammer and tong. I'm excited for this. This is going to be good.
I'm a little bit disappointed in your pick.
Oh,
You've got a little bit disappointed, both of you. You've missed out on the big game. We've got two undefeated teams, both 2-0. I feel like it'll be a wet weather game. Two teams going at it. The Steelers and the Chargers, both 2-0.
Now I won't lie. I don't know why this is. I have a mild phobia of picking anything to do with the Chargers now. They scare me. I won't lie. I've been burnt too many times.
But can we just take a minute to appreciate one of those teams is going to come out 3-0?
Yeah, considering how much we absolutely dunked on the Steelers after their preseason, by the way.
It's like, and who
and the Chargers
center now? Justin Fields now is leading the Steelers, right?
Which is one flip. So I think Gary had it down for 4 flips. I need to go back and have a look. Yeah, I think you said 4.
Yes, okay, yeah, because it started out with
off with Wilson, but now it's already gone.
And we're only 2 games in.
But there's talk that maybe Justin Herbert might not be starting for the Chargers.
So he's starting it. It popped up just as he came
has live. Now. It has
confirmed. But is he active at 100%?
But one of those teams, Gary's going to be 3-0. One of those teams are going to be 3-0.
No, they're not. You know they're not. They're going to be 2-0-1. I'm calling it. It's a tie.
That would be pretty.
I tell you, if that comes in, game over, right?
No,
Done.
to be fair, I do in a weird way like the look of this game. I mean, we all know what the Steelers do, right? It might not maybe be like the most attractive game of football, and they will beat you up. You know that's going to happen. But clearly, it's getting results. Just like last year when they were outgained by like 6 million yards and somehow still had a winning season.
Still over 500.
You know, we know what the Steelers are at this point. The Chargers are still excited. I'm really trying not to talk too positive about them because I know if I do, they'll just get absolutely slapped. I know how this works, right? I know what happens.
Chargers are very one-dimensional at the moment. They're definitely leaning a lot into J.K. Dobbins.
They are
definitely harboring their way through.
Working. Harbor is harboring. Harbour is out-charging the Chargers. It's brilliant. He's done it.
That was the question at the beginning, wasn't it? It was one of those preseason questions you had. Alec, is Harbour enough to out-charger the Chargers? And
he's doing it.
So far, he's overcoming it. So far.
Yeah, so far.
Yeah, if they come out of this and they're 3-0.
Yeah, I suppose the bigger question is, at what point do we have to start taking them seriously? Is that because that's scary when we might actually, when it's not just a
tongue-in-cheek, it's a bit of a jokey laugh. It becomes actually the Chargers.
At what point do we have to sit there and be like, They
It's
might be
also
on.
not raining in Pittsburgh, so the run game will be open.
Ooh.
Could be sneaky good, that one.
Both
I'll just
one of
win
those teams
3-0.
is going to finish off 3-0.
Is that it? So
Thursday
yeah,
night
that's-
we're going to be talking about the undefeated Chargers.
I was going to say, I'm trying to work out how many other teams can get out of this week and still be undefeated. Obviously, the Chiefs can still do it. Chargers can do it. Steelers can do it.
Bills.
Bills can do it.
I
Get in there, Matty, quick.
believe. Oh, Saints could keep it. Could keep
Texans.
it rolling.
Was that
Did you say Texans?
The Texans can do it. Yeah.
Saints, Texans, Buccaneers could stay undefeated. I believe they're 2-0.
Seahawks.
I know. Oh yeah, the Seahawks. I forget that too. No.
And they're playing Miami,
Vikings.
with a backup or the backup.
Yeah.
Ooh, could be some interesting 3-0 teams coming this week.
Vikings. We've not mentioned the Vikings. Yeah, Vikings.
Sam Darnold, the best quarterback in
Comeback
that
player of
division.
the year, by the way.
Comeback player of the year. They've outscored as well. They've outscored that division.
They have, and they've conceded the fewest points. There we go. Finally got my words out. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, there we go. Come on now.
Jefferson banged up or not? That's an interesting because he did go out.
He is active
Locker
again.
room.
It was only a
Just
bruised something or other.
I love that when they say it's a thigh contusion. Yeah, it's just a bruised thigh.
Yeah, it's just,
Come on, he's just got a dead leg.
Yeah.
Literally got a dead leg.
the one I always find really funny because I just never heard it before I got into the NFL is like I feel like if like in English football, literally any other sport, if you sprain your ankle, that's it. You sprained your ankle. I love it when they're like, oh, it's a high ankle sprain. Like,
Yeah. Oh, it's a high one. If it was a low, he would have been all
A
right.
low ankle sprain, you've been all right. It's like
he'd be grand. Like it's just no, he's
just run it off. It's a high ankle sprain.
What are we doing here? Like,
Come on now. How many ankles has the one player got?
yeah. Which he's strained the middle quadrant of his ankle. Oh, got it. Okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mid ankle sprain. Oh, you're done for.
It's not that top one. That's fine. Yeah. Sorry, that's my little bugbear out of the window. There we go.
All right. Matty's bugbear. There's a segment.
I want to pick a few games.
I want to pick a shock of the week. We got a shock of the week.
Oh, shock of the week. Oh,
shock of the week, or actually, Alec, what you were throwing at me, the game wrecker. I reckon there's going to be a game wrecker or a shock of the week player this week.
Oh,
well, I'm going to go for my upset of the week.
Okay, it'd be interesting. Okay, go on then. What's your?
Oh,
hang on a minute. Why do you not have an intro?
Well, I've been lacking. We've run out of budget.
Can't get the star. Voiceover man wanted more money.
voiceover guy's holding out. Yeah,
Giving too much credit.
Contract holdout. Yeah.
Simpsons shock of the week. I think the Tennessee Titans are going to beat Green Bay.
Oh, see, they're a team that I do think to keep a sneaking eye on because, like the Ravens have been performing best offensively and have fallen short. The Titans do actually have their overall best defense and are 0-2. So they're definitely not out of it. Obviously, being 0-2, and I suppose potentially a large part of that could be down to their quarterback making some questionable decisions, I think would be fair to say. But, like the defense is doing the job. So if the offense can click and they've got weapons, if the aforementioned Mr. Mayonnaise can get something rolling, that they could be on something here. I like it. That's a sneak.
Yeah, I think Pollard's going to run for 100 plus yards. I think that Will Levis will just be throwing on third downs. Mr. Mayonnaise, they won't let him touch the ball on first or second. Keep him in the gates.
He's not even allowed to snap it and get it snapped to him anymore. We're just snapping it straight to Tony Pollard.
Hand it off.
Just completely bypass the QB just in case. Yeah.
Tell us your game wrecker, Gary. Where's your
It's
game
a bold. My game wrecker of the week, my shock of the week, my upset of the week, whatever you want to call it. The Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, takes down the Raiders for the Panthers. The Panthers get a win because Andy Dalton comes in, rights the ship in whatever way, shape, or form possible. Andy Dalton, in his last game for the Panthers, threw for more yards than Bryce Young threw for in the last 3 games.
Oh, good heavens. Wow.
It's a stat that just like, what? In his last game for the Panthers, he threw, I think, for 360 odd yards. The last 3 games for Bryce Young, he never managed to get total of 360 yards in the air. I think Andy Dalton somehow gets the Panthers team over the line, and the Raiders, being the Raiders, who have just beaten the Ravens and are absolutely, we're the best team in the world, fall flat on their silver and black backsides and lose to the Panthers.
What a 180 that would be in the space of a week.
Just a complete mental breakdown, but I can see it.
I'm not there with you, Gary, but I wish you all the luck.
Just leave me hanging out there this time for that one.
No, I don't know. I think the Raiders are just a better. I think the Panthers are just shocking.
They're a car crash organisation. I've got absolutely no doubt about that, and they don't deserve to win any games at all because of the way they've run their organisation.
I think
there's players out there playing for their livelihoods and their lives. Stranger things have happened on a Sunday.
No, maybe. I can see it. And who wants to see the Raiders win again? The one thing I do want to kind of like. So this shocked me. This really shocked me. What do you reckon the career earnings are of Andy Dalton? He's done 9 years of the NFL.
9 years in the NFL?
9, 10, 11, 12, 13 years in the NFL.
Perennial backup. He's
9. I'd make it
64 million.
Oh, I'll take the.
Take it over. Take the over.
Are we? Let me mix it up a bit because it's a bit hard. So, are we going to go over 80, over 90, over 100?
Oh, it's going to be something really upsetting, isn't it? Let's go over 100. I'm going for it.
Andy Dalton, 13 years in the league.
Yeah.
10 million a year. Oh, he's got to be. Actually, when you look at it, as a QB, your bare minimum, even as a backup, is 7 or 8 million a year, isn't it? It's probably a 98 million or something.
Career earnings. Sorry, I've just lost it because I was looking at something else instead. 106 million.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Being a backup QB is potentially the cushiest job in the world. That's
being
wow.
a QB in the NFL pays well, even if you're not that good.
He took the Bengals for 96 million.
They drafted him though, didn't they?
They did, yeah. He did 9 years. I didn't realize he did 9 years there.
Yeah, and he was all right there. He was the new boomer when the Bengals were rubbish. So he was their sort of shining light for a while, but then
goodness me. So I suppose the overarching theme is he's doing all right, I guess is the point here.
He's all right. He's doing okay for himself. He's not in there. He's not in it for the money, but is he trying to get one more contract if he turns up and puts on a show for the next couple of games?
Fair. Get the bag. What?
Get the bag.
I'm gonna do a bit of research for Thursday. We're gonna play guess the QB, guess the wage, guess the career.
Oh, that'd be a good one. That'll be a great one. Like Derek Carr, you're gonna have to get some real. Gino will be a really good one to find out about. Because he's not around. Yeah, those ones that have not. Jameis Winston. Oh, there you go. The names are coming out of the woodwork now.
Guess the QB, Brian Hoyer.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Brian Hoyer, yeah.
Guess the wage. Guess the QB, guess the career earnings. Yeah.
Yeah. You've got to keep it to active ones, though, because otherwise we could be in real trouble if you go down there's a rabbit hole there.
Yeah. I'll keep it to active. I'll come up with some good ones.
That's some good ones. There's some good ones there. Ooh.
But I do like it, Gareth. I am with it. I can see the Panthers, bit of a boom, new QB, bit of a kind of grit between their teeth. It's just their defense that I just...
Yeah.
I just feel like the only way to visualize the Panthers as an organization is what would it look like if, heaven forbid, you're at work, you're at the office. Oh no, the office is set fire. All right, let's grab the fire extinguisher. What do you mean the fire extinguisher's on fire? That's how I feel about the Panthers, right? It's just like
You just described this this show, by the way.
Pretty much. That's pretty much this show is like there's a fire.
All right. Well, if the extinguisher's on
Grab
fire,
the fire extinguisher.
what do you mean the fire exit's on fire? Yeah, just everything's wrong. Yeah.
What do you mean we're in a garbage truck floating in a river?
What do you mean the building's been out of match?
The Carolina Panthers is that meme, isn't it? Of just like the floating garbage truck that just from a cartoon. It's just on fire. That is the Carolina Panthers, end over end.
Let's pick some games then. Browns Giants. Who you taking?
Browns.
Bucks Broncos.
Bucks. Yeah, that's not even a no actually. No.
Okay, let's tie it up. Let's tie it up a little bit. Vikings Texans.
Do you know what? I'm kind of feeling it. Vikings.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sam Darnold coming player of the year.
CJ Stroud takes it for me.
It's hard to argue against that, to be fair.
Yeah. Let's get some tasty ones up. We spoke about Bills Jags. I think everyone's. I'm pulling for the Bills in that one. I have to say.
Jags. Go Jags.
Ooh,
Duval. Okay. Just because it's against the Bills.
Bengals.
Leave my Bills alone.
Who were the Bengals got? Sorry.
Commanders.
0-2.
Bengals need it.
Bengals need it. Commanders somehow have managed to eke a win without scoring a TD. Don't look great. Thought they'd look better than they would. I think the Bengals get right game and get back on track.
If the Bengals play anywhere close to how well they did against the Chiefs, they will be absolutely fine. I also do think the fact they need it, and without sounding incredibly savage, the fact that it's against the Commanders and where they are, I think they're going to be okay. Like again, I was fairly high on the Commanders against the Patriots. I would love to do one of those wild predictions of like, this is it. Commanders are going to put the Bengals to bed. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think the
Commanders are winning it.
Okay. Yeah, probably. They'll do it.
Commanders are winning 7-6 with the
rained off game. One I want a score prediction for as well, because I think this is going to be a good game. Saints Eagles.
Oh,
so I'm taking the Eagles on this one.
Is that at New Orleans or is that in Philly?
At New Orleans.
It's New Orleans. Yeah.
Oh, it's in the dome then.
I'm taking the Eagles. I think they will sneak through on this one, and I think they stop this Derek Carr train, and I'm going to take it at 21-17.
Matty, I'll let you go first. Because I'm so nice that way.
Saints win it 24-22.
Ooh.
I really like what the Saints have got going on, and I think what better way to follow up battering the Cowboys than battering their division rivals as well? Like, just do it, just steamroll through everybody, go off.
Hey, that means the Bucks. You're saying that the Bucks and the Saints are all going to be 3-0.
Yep, I've got the Saints eking this one. I think the Eagles are. They're not right yet. They're still not right. That loss against the Falcons is going to sting. That last minute, just pure mayhem. That how did they let the Falcons win that game? I think that's going to sting a bit. And I think the Saints have something rolling. I don't know what it is. I don't know how they're doing it because it's not a great team. It's got something, and I do not think that the Eagles stop Kamara. I think the Saints take this one, and I think they take it in a weird way. By 10, I think 27-17.
I think they're fairly comfortable then.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I'm
not going to lie. I really wanted to predict 24-22 for the longest time. And most of my thinking time was just, is that a possible score?
Yes, with a missed extra point somewhere.
Every score is possible.
Every score is a scorigami.
Scorigami, baby!
Is possible, but I just can't quite work out how you would get there. 3 touchdowns.
Let's pick the 49ers as well. Let's do the pick. We've got a bit of time. Last one then. Niners. I am taking a Niners win.
Yeah.
And I'm taking a massive Niners win. As a massive statement, I'm taking a 52-17.
Oh, he's gone 50 burger. Oh, my God.
50 burger dropped on all teams, the Rams.
Lee Gowland will be very happy.
I just cannot see the Rams.
I can't see the Rams.
I know. I can't. I think they'll get a few garbage times. And put this out there: Jimmy G will see the field.
Yep.
Or Stenson Bennett, whichever one's backup, will see the field.
There'll be a backup. A backup will be on the field. I see the Niners shutting them out and making, I think, 24-0, something like that. I think they'll shut them down. They'll prove a point. The defense is flying. I think, Bosa is going to sack the living bejesus out of whoever's behind that offensive line. And as you say, by the time it gets to the third quarter, it's probably going to be somebody else because Stafford's gone out injured because Bosa sacked him 5 times already.
Yeah, it's just not working.
It's going to be one.
I feel for the Rams. I was high on the Rams. I'm with you, Gary. I was high on the Rams coming out.
Yeah, I think we all were. Like I think I even like looking at my notes for today. I had to scroll past my preseason predictions. I know. Look at me.
Yeah, I'm having notes for today.
But I had like the Rams as like the 5th place team. I thought like they were going to push the Niners all the way in this division. Like it does as much as I mildly enjoy it, but it does like feel bad for them, right? They built such a good team, and after literally 2 weeks for it to be like it's not looking good. It is sad, but
they're all in ER and they're all backed up. It's
and
it is sad. Yeah, I think we were all saying that the Rams are going to be the ones that push the Niners this year.
Yeah,
could
be the Seahawks.
Does it? Could be the Seahawks now.
Them sneaky
Seahawks. Them sneaky Seahawks getting back from being
anyway, you're not getting away with Matty. You've still not picked a score.
Yeah. Listen.
May have those notes, Gary, but he can't pick a score.
He can't pick a score to save his life. He's sitting on that fence.
You know what? I have literally made a note for every single eventuality, but the one thing I did not make a note on was Rams Niners score. Would you Adam and Eve it? No.
Pull it out of your backside, Matty. Get off the fence and give us a score.
Yeah, sorry, I've stalled enough. I'm going to go Niners win again. I do feel sorry for the Rams, but their team is just absolutely ravaged. I think Fred Warner is going to have a field day because he is having, I don't know the last time a defensive player ever won MVP, but if there is an argument for it after 2 games, there is definitely one for Fred Warner right now. Fred Warner touchdown at some point. Not specifying. I'm leaving that one right there. 24-3. I think it's going to be pretty.
Oh, they get a garbage time field goal.
Yeah, I'm going to allow. Yeah, Jimmy G leads an absolute charge at the end of the game to give him a field goal. There we go. That's as far as that goes.
Go on then, Gary. Tell us where you can find us, how you can like, subscribe.
Before we jump off there, I just wanted to give a shout out because it's that time. It's a quarterly thing. It's my touchdown box time of the year, boys and girls. If you haven't subscribed to my touchdown box, please go out there and subscribe to it. It is a fantastic subscription service that gets you a mystery box every 3 months. You don't know what's coming through the door. And a new thing that Nia is doing over at my touchdown box, you can also now order jerseys.
Ooh.
Official jerseys from my touchdown box. Save you thinking about it, saves you worrying about it. Get on their website, order yourselves a jersey. This
Saves
is
giving
my
the money
mystery.
to Fanatics.
Saves giving the money to Fanatics. Saves you worrying and worry about it. You know you're giving it to a small organization. There you go. Nia, my touchdown box. They're doing jerseys. And look what I got. Club 85, baby. So that's that one. So the rest of the time, you'll find us on SportsMagUK. You can find us on YouTube. There's the ticker going. That's the wrong ticker. That's the ticker we were looking for. Find us on YouTube at SportsMagUK. You've got a number of different shows that we're throwing up there. We've got the NFC West show that finally just kicked off. Alec and Matty, you've got your sports desk show that's kicking off. And I know I'm looking forward to the next one of those ones. There's some interesting storylines brewing in that one. You've also got us on Thursday night. We'll be back with the NFL Around the UK show. I'm sure we've got another show. Matty, we've got to get the Mayhem show back.
Yes, we will absolutely have to do that. We're all, again, I know we mentioned this on the midweek show. We're all a tad busy at a really inconvenient time when all of us were a tad busy. So it's gone very well so far. I don't know if you guys can tell. But again, extinguisher and fire exit, both very firmly on fire. So, it's going to be
getting it.
We'll get things cooking again. We'll hopefully get some more stuff going on. Again, anyone that is listening, if you are interested in running your own show on like any sport or just want to come on and have a chat with us, we would be very thankful and would very much implore you to talk to us. You can
bring some sensibility to this.
There we go. Yeah. You can reach us all on Twitter. Obviously, mine's down there. Gary's up there. Alec is probably something on Twitter. I don't know. There's obviously. The official account says the TikToks. We're somewhere. Like, just look us up.
Matty, can we just give Matty a bit of a kudos though? His TikTok views. How many did you say he's got so far, Alec?
Oh,
we did over 1,000 views, 1,001.
Wow!
I don't think Matty hasn't seen it.
Oh God! There's another one. No. What do you mean? I'm very up to date on everything SportsMagUK. I love that one. No, I'll definitely I'll get on that. Yeah.
Hit the
so that's where you can find us. My God, let's get out of it. Enjoy Football Sunday, everybody. Go. We love you. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you on Thursday on NFL Around the UK. Until then, enjoy the football. Go Niners.
Go Niners. Go win it.